Hey, how you guys doing? I hear James Humphrey with another episode of Diary of a True Woman. I have these two ladies here, Shiona and Faith. And today we are talking about goals and ambitions. Goals and ambitions. So let's go ahead and get started with the obvious question. As a true woman, what goals do true women have?
Would you like to go first?
What goals do a true woman have?
Have babies. I'm kidding.
Well, I think that's what every woman in the ticking of the time clock thing. I know that's like
right.
That's a real thing. So eventually, over time, somebody wants to have kids. But
yes.
Just starting with either or, like, what are your goals as a true woman, or you feel as a true woman? What are your goals that you want to achieve?
I mean, honestly, to me, like one of the things has been just being able to survive in this world.
Ooh.
You know, without needing support necessarily. I want to be able to be out there. You know, I can afford that house if I wanted to, go on that vacation if I wanted to. Not having a partner, like, you know, contribute to all that is great too. But then, you know, if something happens, like, I'm taken care of by myself. Like, to me, I feel like I place a lot of value in that, personally.
Yeah, I feel like a big part of it is independence. Like, just as a woman, I feel like, I mean, I'm only 22, but I feel like you should get to a certain point where you should be okay by yourself financially and emotionally and mentally. So, like, if you do get in a relationship and it doesn't work out, you could still go back to being, like, you know, bad bitch, independent woman, whatever you want to call it. Because... like, I feel just as, like, a good woman in general, of course you want a guy to take care of and come home to, but that's my personal opinion. But I'm still at the point, too, where I'm like, I'd rather have my own stuff together and have a guy come into my life to add to it. So
with that being said, what's the ambition or the drive to want that? You guys talk about, you know, independence, you know, freedom. What's the real drive to have it?
I feel like the happiness part.
Okay.
Because I feel like everyone really wants to just be happy with their life and comfortable and stuff. And that's really a big part. You just, like, maybe you want that old country love, like growing together, like yelling at kids on the lawn or something. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's really just happiness in the end, so.
Okay.
Yeah, and to add to that, like, I also have an issue where even in my relationship, I've realized, and my husband's pointed out, that, like, I'm hyper independent. Sometimes, like, I don't even ask for, like, the little small things, and he's like, you know, I'm here to do the little things for you. You don't have to be this way.
I can make the cup of coffee if you want me to.
Yes, you don't have to say no to everything. I can go get the laundry. I can take out the trash. And so I feel like it's probably just like my fixation with, like, I can survive out here in this world on my own, you know? And sometimes, like, that does end up hurting me. I miss out on being treated nice and just like not having to do everything by myself. So I totally agree. It does boil down to happiness. I also feel like it's satisfaction with your life too. Like, you're just content with your day-to-day life, and then just creating that life for yourself. I think it ties into your ambitions and your career as well.
That's a good answer. Good answer. So, with that being said, how do you think that affects your environment around you? Because you talk about how you sometimes butt heads with your husband.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure you have, you know, butt heads with certain things. How does that affect the surroundings or the things around you? Like your environment, your friendships, your relationships, because I guess in your mindset, you know, I'm a strong, independent woman, or I'm very ambitious. I have all these goals and all these different things that I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, how do you, I guess, push around that environment? I know that's a tough question.
That is a tough question.
I know that's a tough question.
Yeah, because it's hard to, like, get a view of like a third party perspective of what you look like to other people. I know, I mean, it's totally down to personality, because I know that I have some friends, one of my best friends, like, she depends on her boyfriend for everything. And it's really cute, you know. I mean, she likes driving, but then when he's around, she's a passenger princess.
Yeah.
And I think that's adorable, you know, like he fulfills that need for her. And so I feel like when you find your person, I feel like you kind of let go a little bit and start trusting them to be like, okay, you know, like it's two of us now. And so I feel like definitely the people you have close to you, your environment comes to a play, and you can turn it around and like give it a positive impact. I feel like just like make space for them, give space to them, and like allow them to just contribute to your lifestyle a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, to me personally, it's a little difficult for me to have like people help out, especially when it comes to business, because there's a certain way I want things done, you know? Especially if like you own a business like me, like I want this done like this way, this done this way. And so I feel when it comes to certain things, it's a little hard for people to help, because one wrong move and they could just like, your business could go down and it's just not a good move.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Do you have the mentality of I'm the only one that can do it right?
No, not really that. It's just I'm more picky of who I let help, because you're putting yourself on the line, you're putting your business on the line, and one wrong move, you can't really go back, you know, because like for charity, like if you have someone stealing from it or something and the community knows about it, then how can you go back? You pretty much have to rebuild your
like
entire...
it can ruin your reputation. Yeah.
It's like, so I'm very careful about who I bring in and who I let help with certain things. But at times, like, I do reach out to people. It's like, hey, I need help with this. Hey, I need help with that. So...
As true women, do you feel like you've accomplished a lot in your goals and ambitions?
I mean, I feel like definitely there's a lot more to do for me personally.
Well, I'm assuming that you guys obviously have a lot of things that you guys want to do. So do you guys ever get, I guess, complacent? Like you feel like, you know, I'm trying to do so many things, I'm not getting anything done? Or, you know, are you feeling content on the things that you're accomplishing?
So, yeah, I used to look at it very tangibly, just like on a logical point. So I'm trying to get my PhD in economics. So then like a lot of my life, I feel like 7 years has been just like focusing on that. And it's kind of been that goal, but I'm kind of towards the point where I'm reaching the end. So then I'm like, now what? Like when I do get that like PhD, and then would I feel accomplished? Like, where do I go from here? Like, is it on to like bigger and better things, or is this like lead to complacency, you know? Like I've peaked in life and this is my biggest achievement. So there's that fear too, because I'm like in an institution, like I'm at UMKC and I'm just like, okay, cool. Like I'm really thriving here. But then after I get that degree and I'm out of there, I'm a little concerned, you know, like I will have to like define myself again or redefine myself. So I feel like that's always at the back of my mind, not as just a woman, but like as a person too, you know, like after your life changes and it's almost been a decade, like you might kind of lose pace of who you are. So
I mean, I feel like I'm further ahead than most people, I guess.
And there's nothing wrong with saying that.
I mean, like, I still have things that I need to work through and get things done, but, like, I started my own foundation a few years ago, and not a lot of people do that. Like, I started it when I was 20, and so I'm still doing it now. It's just, there's one thing that I really, really want to do with the foundation, and I'm hoping it's going to work out this year, because it will just help a lot more donors come to me and come to the charity. But like, I feel like everyone, they're still working on themselves every single day. So
as true women, do you feel more, I guess, fulfilled that you have these goals and ambitions compared to, I guess, when you're first thinking of them long ago, or however long it was?
I feel like yes, because when I was like 19, I couldn't even keep a part-time job.
Yeah.
Like it was a struggle, oh my lord. But like I couldn't even keep a part-time job. But over the years, like I've worked 4 jobs at a time.
Wow.
Yeah, trust me.
That's stressful.
Yeah. And so I feel like for the most part, I feel like a big part of it is your mental and emotional, because that affects your physical. And if you're not well, then you can't really do a whole lot, you know, because maybe there's like limitations. So.
Did you want to
Yes, like ask me that question again. Her answer was really good.
It was a good answer.
Yes, that makes sense.
It was a good answer.
Yes.
The question was, do you feel like you're accomplishing a lot more with your goals and ambition as a true woman compared to before, when you first started?
I think so. Sometimes I feel like I'm my biggest critique, and then to hear people like give me a compliment, and I'm like, whoa, you see me in that way? That's awesome. You know, I didn't see myself in that way, because like I'm always like, I could have done this differently. I could have, you know, made like wiser decisions and just put my money into this, whatever. But yeah, if I put that like judgmental part of me away, and just like think of it in a nicer manner, like, yeah, definitely, I feel like I'd be like, yeah, good job, you know, like you're doing your thing, like you're just making something of yourself in this big wide world, and you're healthy, you're relatively happy, like that's an accomplishment, I feel like.
As a true woman, how do you accept constructive criticism when you tell people your goals and ambitions? Like, hey, I want to do this, and people say, hey, you should do this, or you should accept this, or something like that.
Oof.
You know, how do you, as a true woman, how do you, I guess, either go around the criticism or accept the criticism? How do you go about criticism?
I'm like, you take that back, sir.
I'm sure you guys had your fair share of, you can't do this, you can't do that. So, if anything, what are some of the challenges you guys overcame with your goals and ambitions?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, whoa, okay.
So, hold on for a second.
Seems like we're in New York City. There's a subway.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. That rumble.
Cut out.
Yeah. But it gives you time to think of your question, your answer.
Yes, it did. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely. Just like going back to just like my academic background, like, so when I was first trying to figure out like what to do for my dissertation, because that was going to make up like a big part of my next few years, it got shot down like so many times. You know, people would be like, that's weird, like why would you want to even research that? And I don't know, I guess like you can't convince everybody it's a good idea, but then eventually I was just stubborn enough to I put my foot down. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm gonna put my focus on, you know? Oh.
We're just gonna ignore it.
Yep. I hear nothing.
Yeah. Let's hope the camera doesn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if it does, we'll fight through it.
Yeah, and part of it is that, part of maturing is realizing that, criticism's warranted sometimes. Like, you have to be objective about it, but also question the person's intention sometimes. Like, some people just like to be negative for no good reason, just to put you down a little bit. So I always try to see, like, who's giving me this feedback? Do I respect that person enough to take his criticism or her criticism, and then just kind of go from there?
Faith?
I feel like there's good and bad criticism, because I feel like there's criticism that will put you on the right path, and then there's criticism from like friends, family, community, where they're like, oh, you can't do this because she's only like 20 or she's only 22, or I received quite a bit of criticism because a lot of people think that my charity is just like a hobby, but my passion is giving back, and honestly, I'll love to just make it a career, because I love giving back, I love helping people, but there's always going to be criticism. I feel like you really just need to get to the point where you kind of tune it out, and you're going to be like, okay, well, I've gone this far so far, and I'm only this age, and I'm proud of me for doing all this, and I'm proud of myself for doing all this hard work and doing all this effort, and all this investing, really. So I think you really need to put yourself first when it comes to criticism.
Mm-hmm.
So
good answer. So as my closing question, obviously goals and ambitions, we're thinking about the future. As true women, where do you see yourselves with your goals and ambitions?
with a cow. No. You're like, oh my gosh. Back to the cows.
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, it kind of goes back to me again. I kind of want to make a positive impact in the world, but I don't know how. Goes back to charity too, like I feel like we're sharing the world with other people. So yeah, as much as it pays to be self-centered sometimes, I feel like that's not going to bring me any satisfaction, especially when like I'm old, hopefully just
Oh gosh.
yeah, like on my deathbed.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I kind of want to keep that as like a focus. Sometimes I feel like just focusing on yourself is not personally going to make me a happy person. But the challenging thing is like knowing how you can go about doing that. Like it's kind of life doesn't come with a manual.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like been a journey of my 20s and hopefully my 30s, and I hope I figure it out by then.
Yeah.
I feel like a big part of it is just knowing what you want in life and
Mm-hmm.
what you see yourself doing or having. Because I see myself having like a farm with a family, husband, kids,
Mm-hmm.
a cow, maybe a goose. But like a big part of it is just knowing what you want, and if you want it, like what can I do to go after it? Like what can I do to get me there?
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Well, that concludes this episode of Diary of a True Woman. I have Faith with me. I have Shiona with me. Obviously, James, the host. We'll catch you guys next time on another episode of Diary of a True Woman.